My name is Marguerite Pulio. I've owned the cottage for the last 43 years, 208 and a half Chatham Street. The nearest abutter to this garden. Last Saturday, I went out and I got 78 signatures in 4 hours from homeowners and abutters. Not the whole city. These are just the people from the vicinity of the school itself with a garden, the ones who really know what's going on. I'd like to read this here. The guest commentary I had put in the paper. Ingalls School garden, a nuisance for neighbors. On Saturday, October the 25th, 2010, I started a petition that says we, the undersigned homeowners and neighbors, are asking the City of Lynn School Department Committee to stop the Ingalls School garden because of rats, vandalism, and gangs for our safety, health, and peace of our neighborhood. From 9:30 to 2:30 p.m., I collected more than 78 names and addresses. These were the most directly affected, the nearest abutters, living within the school grounds, like Chatham Street, Sesame Terrace, Daniels Place, Collins Street, Fair Street, Silver Lake Place, Mariana Street, and Essex Street. These families live here, and no better than anyone else what terrible conditions we have here because of this garden. Number one, no butters or neighbors were ever told or even asked about the said garden. As a homeowner and the nearest abutter, I would have said no. There are no lights at all for this 560 square feet garden. None. No cameras to check the vandals. No locked gates. People come and go as they please, stealing the food. Only a 4-foot chain link fence is there. Worst of all, when the workers were done for the day, no one stayed to guard the ripened crops, which are continuously vandalized and stolen. The garden is not even locally run. The group that runs this organization and is in charge comes from Greater Boston, Lincoln, and Gloucester. Also, the workers are not volunteers, but paid, and well paid too. The water supply is coming from the Ingalls School, ? Our taxes at work, ? We neighbors are very well aware of all the stealing from this garden. The latest and worst problem is the hordes of rats in the garden, in spite of more than 34 rat traps to catch the rodents. If we had been asked, we would have shown 4 maps showing Silver Lake exactly where the garden is now. The Silver Lake was drained and used as a city dump for 40 to 50 years. That's where the vegetables are growing. There's no topsoil there. When the pump wells were dug for water, 3 to 4 feet down.
Marguerite,
yes.
Thank you. If you could sum this up, you have less than 30 seconds.
All right.
Thank you.
In contrast, look at the Ford School project. 8-foot-high fences, locked gates, cameras, lights, well-lit water tank on top of the roof, raised soil plots, all local kids, all volunteers. This is a well-developed garden, the way the Ingalls School garden could have been done from day one. If you think this is a good decision to have the garden, let's use your neighborhood.
Thank you, Marguerite.
Thank you very much.
We have time for one speaker. But you have 3 minutes.
I didn't just come upon this garden. Actually, Donna and I were sitting there when they opened it up to the kids down in Ingalls. We were happy with the relax and everything. Then about a couple of years later, it took me, and I was on the city council at the time, it took me 2 phone calls to the school and a phone call to the superintendent just to get the lights put on the Ingalls School that were already there. They were on time, as Tommy told me, and they didn't turn them on. They didn't turn them on for days and days, and the problem started then. I've always been for the garden, but over the years I think that it has worsened. To sit here and say that there are no problems there, and it's really the oversight there has been good, is just not true. And I think the victims here are the 78 people that she has written there. They're not complaining for nothing. They don't sign their name to nothing. And I think that you have to consider the responsibility not only to the children, and it's always good to have a garden, but then my understanding was the garden went from a half an acre to an acre. And that was without permission, so I would consider very much looking at that contract this time, because they didn't have to ask in the last contract, from my understanding, and it's hard to get correct information. But I do know it went from a half an acre to an acre. Are there rats down there? Yes, they are. Does that mean 1 minute or 1 second, Patty?
1 minute.
All right. I'm asking you tonight to consider the neighborhood, to consider the children. Mostly, I'm asking you, if you want lights up there, when they asked Marguerite to put a fence around, they are only offering her a fence around her house. Who wants that? That wasn't fair. I think a lot that has been said about Mrs. Pulio has not been fair. And the fact is that it's going to cost plenty of money. How much does a fence going around that garden going to cost? How much are lights going to cost? How much is the energy? How much is the water? How much is, I think you have to take a real good look at how much this will cost. Will it cost as much as hiring another policeman? Will it cost as much as an SRO? Will it cost as much as hiring a teacher and lowering class sizes? Or will they pay?
Good time, thank you. At this point, I have to close open mic session. Thank you all.